How you doing, folks? Thanks for joining us on another video. Now this is the fourth and final video in my West Highland Way series, so yeah, if you haven't done already, give us a wee thumbs up and a subscribe. And yeah, there's a few more videos in the can, as they say. There's a couple from that I recorded before the West Highland Way, one in the Sperrins and one from the Western Mourns. I think there may be some more as well, and there's one after the West Highland Way that I recorded down doing Carron. Next week I'm down in Connemara, so there'll be a few videos coming from there as well. But in the meantime, enjoy this one. Cheers. The West Highland Way is one of the most popular walks in the UK, and it's easy to see why. From the lush shores of Loch Lomond to the majestic peaks of the Highlands, the stunning views every step of the way. I started my walk in May of 2024, and I couldn't have picked a better week. In the last video, we left as I was setting up camp in Kinlochleven. This time we head out of Kinlochleven and make our way towards Fort William, setting up camp at the Ben Nevis campsite before heading into the town to finish the West Highland Way. Then the next day, summiting Ben Nevis, finishing my week in Scotland in style. But we start as I leave Kinlochleven, looking forward to my last day on the trail. So, final day. Leaving a bit earlier today, just after 8, so yeah, a lot earlier than previous days. But yeah, the feet are pretty sore. My left foot's got a big blister along just underneath the toes. So yeah, see how we get on today. The most photographed house on the West Highland Way, I think. not too far to go now, only about 4.5 miles to the campsite. We're about 8 and something miles in, so I'm going to set up at the campsite and then go and finish the way then, I think. Rather than carry my heavy bag all the way into Fort William, I thought it made sense to set up camp at the Ben Nevis campsite first, grab something to eat and make use of the facilities, and it was a relief to finally get my clothes washed. That's me settled in at the campsite. I thought I'd finished the trail today, so I'm just taking a walk into town. It's only a couple of miles, and get it finished off, get back to the campsite. You'd think for this final stretch they could come up with a bit that wasn't on the road. On this final stretch of the route, I met up with a guy that I'd seen a few times during the walk, who was leading a group from the United Arab Emirates. And as we passed the original end point of the route, it was nice to chat to some fellow hikers and share our experiences of walking the West Highland Way. Once I'd gotten the obligatory picture taken at the Sore Feet statue, there was only one thing left to do, and that was get a pint and a vegan pizza at the Black Isle Bar. I think they may have overdone it on the rocket leaves. Right, next morning, foot still sore, but we're giving it a go. Clear blue skies above Ben Nevis at the minute. But whether it'll be like that when we get to the top is anyone's guess. was grateful for the clear views when we got to the top, but after a brief discussion with these kids in the rescue hut, we decided it probably wasn't worth waiting to get our picture taken by the trig point. It's not worth queuing for that. Did you queue?
We haven't yet.
Yeah. No, I'm not waiting an hour for that. Right, that's me back down just as the visitor centre was closing, and we got a vegan Magnum result. But apparently the bus is into town now until 5:10, so I've got another couple of miles to do today. Speak to you in a bit. Although my legs were aching by the time I got to Fort William, I was glad that I'd made the effort to go up Ben Nevis. It really was the cherry on top of the cake of a wonderful week of walking. Whilst in Fort William, I noticed something I'd missed the night before, and that was this map laid out on the pavement in front of the Sore Feet statue. A great reminder of all the places that I'd passed through over the last week. After one more pint in the Black Isle bar and a disappointing veggie burger in Wetherspoons, I decided to head back to the campsite and cook up one of my last dehydrated meals. Thankfully there weren't many midges about, so I could enjoy my final meal in peace and reflect on a wonderful week of walking. At the end of every multi-day hike, it's always worth reflecting on what went well and what didn't go quite so well. On this trip, I was glad that the training that I'd done had made me fit enough to do the trail. As I think I mentioned on a previous video, I'd been carrying a weighted rucksack on my daily dog walk. I'd also included backwards walking on my daily routine, which certainly helped strengthen the knees, which was useful on the descent down into Kinlochleven, where everybody else was complaining about knee pain. The one thing I hadn't expected was the amount of blisters. I'd always sworn by wearing 2 pairs of socks, a thin liner sock and a thicker outer sock. But I think the issue this time was that my feet just got too warm and swelled up, meaning that the boots were rubbing against my feet. I think for future walks, I'd probably just go for one thicker pair of socks. Maybe a pair of Darn Tough or something like that.
What's that 44? Maple cake with rolled on sausage.
So this is me leaving the campsite. Was going to get one of the hire bikes, but another fellow I was speaking to said he'd been trying for 40 minutes with no luck, so by the time I faff around I thought I may as well just walk it. For me, the train ride back to Glasgow was another highlight of the trip. Passing through all the areas that I'd walked through over the previous week, but from the comfort of a seat on a train. And that's me on my way back to Northern Ireland. Thanks for watching these videos, folks. Hope you enjoyed them. I'm busy contemplating where my next walk's going to be. Maybe the coast to coast, or possibly the Offa's Dyke path. Let me know what you think in the comments. Well, thanks for watching. See you again.